Tomorrow night I have a landfill meeting, and this is something we need to think about here. We need to make. I want you just to consider, it's not on the agenda. Remember I brought this up before here about what's happening out there in regards to trying to either save some money, keep doing things like the way we are right now, for recycling, is one option. The second option is, to look at ways to save some money by going to a different recycler and using that money. I'm looking at the county now. That extra 85, 90,000 a year, put that back in the kitty to put in the new cell. Because right now the county has enough money to build a cell that we have to plan on for this next year. And every 3 years, this new cell, a new cell has to be developed, and this new cell is going to cost around $360,000 plus. All right, there's enough money in the county to do that right now. So, A, we do nothing. We're going to have to start charging more. The county is for garbage.
Tipping fees.
The tipping fees, so much per person, that kind of thing. That's one option. The second option is we keep the garbage rates the same and switch recyclers for recycling and use that money to either A, turn it back to the communities, or B, leave the rates the same and use that 85, 90,000 for the next 3 or 4 years and have a kitty to bring in the next cell without raising the rates. So I want you all to think about that. We have to start moving on something like that if we're going to do that. Because right now, those are only two options. We do not have it. We have enough money to build. The county has enough money to build this next cell because they've been putting some away for this rainy day. But if they spend this money to build a cell, there's no money left to build one in 3 years from now, and we have to start looking down the road for that possibility. So there's something I want you all to think about, and if you've got any questions, you're free to show up to the meeting tomorrow night.
I mean, is there a way you can give us pros and cons?
Well, the pro, the pro.
I guess my question, what happens to the recycling center if we go someplace else?
I'd like to see some numbers or actual figures of what we'd save or what, what's the difference between what are our choices
now, well,
and
for
where
example,
the dollars would.
Okay, I'll give you this. Right now, it's costing the taxpayers, now keep in mind, this is Sac County, okay? The numbers are, because it's this county landfill. It's costing around $146 a ton to recycle. And believe me, I think recycling is good. I am not against recycling. Now, that's what delivered to Sac City, and that's what we're being charged here in Sac. Okay, that's per ton. Now, we run about 850 tons through this facility a year. All right? Now, with those dollar figures involved, right now, Carroll will do it for 20 bucks a ton. But we have to get it. All right? So if it's on the trailer, what do? Once a week? I mean, whatever, every community. Now, Adam has said that it's going to cost about $5 grand to get it to Carroll. Now, A, the city, we could absorb that. Or, the possibility is, I show up with the council and go, okay, whatever it costs us to transport it to Carroll, let's take that off. Now, that a savings that the county is not charging, that is now charging Sac City, Odebo, Wall Lake, Lakeview, the whole community. Right now, if we can save that money, say it's $40 a ton, total transportation and everything, we could be easily looking at $85, $90, $100 a ton savings on that 850 ton a year that goes through the haulage center. Okay? Now, you take that 850, at $100 a ton, that's $85,000, folks. All right, that $85,000 is okay. Now, the savings that we could utilize to either transfer back to the communities or keep it, the garbage, so much per person. There's for like Sac City has so much per person rate, and the tipping fees, we keep those figures the same and save that money for the next cell. Keep in mind that DNR is driving our costs out there, and it's horrendous. Because before, we used to have clay sides, you know, and they keep just changing the ball game all the time. Since 2008, they've changed the ball game. You used to be able to pack dirt on a 60-degree slope and figure, okay, water's no shit. Well, for example now, on the new cell, you got a 60-degree slope. You have to cover that all the way to the top with a membrane. The engineer tried to cover it, because we don't have that big a landfill. This isn't Des Moines. You know, cover 15 foot for this year, or 20 feet, whatever it is, and then put the next membrane up. Because this is not a weather thing, you know, you have to cover it with something. So then we got to come up, okay, what do you cover this membrane with? Go get corn stalks from the neighborhood or something. But they will not let us do that in layers. You have to cover the whole slope of the old cell. They said, well, we're just not going to listen to anything else. But those are the kind of issues that we're facing, and it's going to cost a lot more up front. And that's, you know, the DNR is driving this. We have no other choice. There's 3 DNR people in the state of Iowa to deal with landfills.
Do we still, are we
It's
not
something
still
I want you to think about.
Right, are we not still on a contract until a certain date?
That's correct. For the next 3 years, I made a motion at a previous meeting, but John has said that, you know, if we can find a way, he's come out in the paper and said if we can find a way to do it cheaper, he wasn't going to stand in our way, you know, so I don't, before this county landfill, which somebody put me on, says, you know, we have to decide, okay, what does each community want? You know, does the majority of the communities want to, you know, keep doing things the same? Do we want to look at trying to save some money? I'm looking as a county, you know, there's a possibility we could save a tremendous amount of money and utilize that money to put in the kitty for the landfill.
Do we not need to cooperate with the other towns?
Yes, but he wants to know what every town is feeling, you know. Do you want, you know, so when I show up, you know, I can go, okay, SAC doesn't, you know, obviously I can't, I'm not asking because it's not on the agenda for tonight. But, you know, I've brought it up before, we need to really consider this, folks. Because then, okay, like I can say, okay, Sac City's looking at this, you know, we'd be willing to participate. Then the people from All Lake and Odebo and Lakeview and Shaler and Early, you know, they can say, okay, this is what our council has decided, you know, and because it has to be a vote from this landfill commission.
Nick, I want to bring up one point. You're calling this the county. This is not a county. It's called the Sac County Landfill, but it is a commission where everybody's in a 20 agreement. So the county really has not a darn thing to do with it outside that they have a member on the commission itself. So
correct.
That's all right. But for the
I'm
people
sorry,
sitting on it, that's okay.
There was, you know, there is that 2080 agreement with each community, but we have to agree, you know, the majority of the representation from the committees or communities have to agree to do this, you know, because if it's, you know, we just can't have one town doing one thing and one town doing another.
Okay.
But please keep that in mind.
Thank you.
Need to bring that in.
Nick, you were saying that it would cost Sac City an extra $5,000 in fuel.
I believe I had.
That's what I'm saying. That would be on top of the assessment we're already going to continue to pay.
Right.
And you were saying, just to be clear, that the commission might consider refunding just fuel.
No. Fuel transportation.
Fuel transportation.
Yeah.
They might consider
That's an
refunding those things, and there would still be $40 per ton savings.
40.
Isn't that what you said?
$100.
Okay. And there would still be $100 per ton
But that's,
savings.
you know, we're looking at some, you know, because if they charge 20, and I'm looking at $20 a ton to haul it there, I'm just roughly, I mean, that's got to be good grief of plenty to get it to Carroll. And that's part of that $5,000, see.
At any time, did the commission estimate how much the assessment would go up for cell 4 if we didn't do this?
I think
Well, a new cell is $360,000.
Okay.
And we do that every 3 years.
No, we don't have true figures. I mean, if we give out figures, they've got to be pretty absolute to be published. So I think we ought to have absolute figures, don't you?
Well-
Because this will give the opinion that we really know this for sure. You know what I mean?
Okay, I'll go back and I'll tell the council that this is what.
No, I'm not saying we're against or for. I'm just saying that in order to give him an answer, we need to have the figure. It's not maybe or sort of. You know,
Okay,
I'm not
$20
against it.
okay,
I'm just saying
it's
we need to have
$20 a
it.
ton for recycling and trash. We have to get it. Adam says it's gonna cost $5,000 a year to do it. The city's portion of the recycling, I don't have those figures of how many tons we actually deliver there. But that would be for Sac City, and everybody would have to do that. I'm just saying that $20 a ton to haul the barrel would be more than adequate. Because right now, everybody, you keep in mind, these other communities bring their garbage in here, their recycling material. And Adam, I'll let you finish this, about whose garbage trucks pick it up.
Oh, yeah. If it's thrown away at the Howard Center, and it's put into their dumpsters, it then goes against our weight assessments at for the commission when they make a determination on how much weight it goes into our tipping fees, basically.
Yes,
is what it is.
it costs the city.
Why don't they split that between all the cities that dump it?
Well, and I think that has been discussed, and Gary probably be a better person to answer that question. That probably
It's actually been seen in the past where Red, when he comes up from Lakeview and Wall Lake and other towns, he actually stops on farms, other places, and picks up recyclables. And they get dumped out here. And we're paying.
No, we're talking stuff that doesn't even get
Yeah, I'm talking about picking up the recyclables that won't go through the recycling center. They have it, we're paying for it. It's not even stuff that should be coming in
Everybody
out
do
here.
their homework on it. I would say he's asked us all to do our homework on it and find out information and come back.
I might actually contact the Howard Center and see about putting this item as a discussion item on the agenda next time. We can, that way it gives me an opportunity to do some more research, and we'll also invite the Howard Center to come here and speak with us a little bit about the issue. Might as well invite them to come and hear what
But
they
please, if you want, tomorrow night, at 7:30, we have this meeting again, and everybody from every community is there. And they've been asking the president of it, Dean Stock, has been asking for some commitments from the community. What do you want to do? Then on a way to save some money. We can find a better deal.
Thank you.